What if university leaders were picked based on their smarts and vision, not who they know in politics? Sounds pretty good, right? Well, that's the big idea behind a major reform brewing in Nepal. Today, we're going to dig into what this is all about and why it's such a big deal.
And here it is, straight from the source. Education Minister Mahabir Poon lays it out perfectly. The whole idea is to get the Prime Minister out of the picture as the Chancellor. Instead, a board of trustees or some kind of council would pick a qualified, totally non-political person to lead. It's a massive shift, really. The goal? Put education back into the hands of educators. So let's see how they're planning to pull this off.
All right, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the new proposal itself. Then, we'll get into the big problem it's trying to solve, political patronage. After that, we'll check out the solution they've come up with, see what the experts are saying, and finally talk about the road ahead, because it's definitely not going to be easy.
Okay, let's jump right into it. What exactly is this new proposal? Well, it's not just talk. The government is already making moves to make this a reality, to actually turn it into law.
They've put together a 13-member expert task force to get this done, and they're moving fast. Their job is to finalize a new law, but not just any law, an ordinance. That's basically an immediate law. This tells you they're serious and they want this change to happen like yesterday. The wheels are definitely turning on this one.
But what's the big rush? Why is this so urgent? To really get that, you have to understand the problem they're trying to fix, the huge, long-standing issue of political meddling in Nepal's universities.
So, why is this change so necessary? For literally decades, political appointments have just been how things are done. And if you ask critics, they'll tell you it's had a terrible impact on the quality of higher education in Nepal. We're talking about everything from student morale all the way to what a degree from there is actually worth.
And the ripple effects are huge. I mean, think about it. When politics creeps into universities, academic freedom gets squashed. The quality of education tanks because leaders are picked for their political loyalty, not their vision. It just creates a toxic environment for teaching and learning. And at the end of the day, it chips away at the value of the degrees that students are working so hard for.
This all boils down to a culture known as Bagbanda, which basically means dividing the spoils. It's this system where top university jobs, we're talking vice chancellors and other big roles, are just handed out like political party favors. It's not just a few appointments here and there, it's a deep-rooted culture. Party loyalty trumps academic skill every time. And that just leads to a cycle of, well, stagnation. So, if political interference is the disease, what's the cure? Well, that brings us to the proposed solution, a board of trustees. Let's look at this side by side because it really makes it clear. Right now, the Prime Minister, the top politician in the country, is the Chancellor and appoints all the key university officials. The proposed system, it's completely different. It sets up a kind of firewall. An independent board of trustees would be in charge, and their only job is to pick the best person based on qualifications and vision, not who they know in government. And you can see just how common the current system is. 10 universities have the Prime Minister as their Chancellor, including the big ones like Tribhuvan University. Only one has the Education Minister. And that Board of Trustees model, it's only in place at 3 universities. So yeah, switching the other 10 over would be a massive, massive change. Now here's a key detail. Those 3 universities that do have a Board of Trustees, they're brand new. According to Minister Pun, they're either just getting started or aren't even fully up and running yet. So the idea sounds great in theory, but we don't actually have any hard data yet to prove it works in Nepal.
All right, so what are the experts saying about all this? Let's hear from some people who've really been on the inside of Nepal's university system. And here's a pretty strong thumbs up. This is from Suresh Raj Sharma, who used to be the vice chancellor at Kathmandu University. He says, look, this is just how good universities around the world do it. If you want the best management and true academic freedom, a board of trustees is the way to go. It's a proven model.
But, it's not all that simple. To get a more balanced view, the spokesperson for the Ministry of Education himself, Shivakumar Sapkota, adds a bit of caution. He's basically saying that just changing who the chancellor is, well, that's not a magic fix. The problems run deep. This has to be part of a much bigger legal reform to really solve the issues for the long term.
Okay, so that brings us to our last section. What's the path forward from here? What are the next steps, and what kind of challenges are they up against?
Where they're definitely not wasting any time. They've already formed that 13-member task force. And get this, the task force has just 10 days to fine-tune the draft bill.
The minister's goal is to get this pushed through as an ordinance within 3 weeks. That's fast. It shows they're really trying to build momentum and avoid getting bogged down in political debates.
And I think this quote from Minister Pan really captures the spirit of this whole effort. If it can be done, it will be. If not, it won't. But we have to start. It's so pragmatic, right? He knows it's going to be a tough fight with a lot of political pushback. But he's saying, look, we absolutely have to at least try. We have to take that first step.
Which leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? Will this move really be enough to free Nepal's universities from politics for good? Or is this just the first shot in a much, much longer battle for academic freedom? It's something we'll all be watching. Thanks for tuning in.